Yesterday, President Biden did what he repeatedly said he would not do. He signed a pardon for his son, Hunter. And that full and unconditional pardon is for crimes that he has committed. Did you get that? Crimes that he has committed, or that he may have committed, or that he may have taken part in, all during a period from January 1st, 2014 through December of 2024. We're talking like 11 years. Unbelievable. 11 years for crimes that he has committed or may have committed. So what does this tell us about President Biden's respect for the justice system? Which, by the way, the legacy media said was demonstrated in his vow not to pardon his son, how much he respected the rule of law and the justice system. Well, all that is turned on its head at this point. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Andy Biggs. He serves on the House Judiciary Committee as well as the Oversight and Accountability Committee. He serves the 5th Congressional District of the great state of Arizona. Congressman Biggs, my friend, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to have you.
Great to be with you, Jody. Thanks for having me.
Well, listen, let's begin. We got a lot to cover. President Biden said that he kept his word as it related specifically to not interfering with the Department of Justice decision-making, but he didn't keep his word when it came to pardoning his son. Your reaction to all of this?
Well, first of all, I wasn't surprised. I may be one of the few people in America, because I predicted 6 months ago when he was replaced by Kamala, I said, you know, in the end, he's gonna get a pardon for himself, his family, and do what's necessary in his mind. And that is what happened here. But the biggest surprise, Jody, and you guys have touched on it quite a bit, is that the scope of this pardon is huge. It's perhaps the largest in American history. It's 11 years. It's any crime he committed, may have committed, may have taken part in. Anything you can imagine, he's going to be pardoned from it. And Jody, that is unprecedented, and that says a lot about what his father knows that Hunter Biden was engaged in, and also, quite frankly, it provides some protection for Joe Biden as well.
Very interesting, and I take this in a powerful kind of way coming from you, not only because of the committees that you serve on, Andy, but the fact that you're a retired attorney. I mean, you know this stuff inside and out. And I'm sure you saw this. President Biden made a statement. He said no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out because he's my son. I mean, come on, give me your reaction to that statement.
Well, that was an outrageous statement. So let's consider about three different things. First of all, he had a jury trial. The jury convicted him. Second of all, he could have had another trial, but he chose to plead guilty. And the third thing is the Justice Department under Joe Biden actually allowed the statute of limitations to run on the most serious charges related to tax fraud and evasion, so that Hunter Biden would never even be prosecuted for those. So for him to say, oh, yeah, this is all based on politics, that's flat out bogus. And anybody who's looked at this closely is going to be able to tell you, yeah, he was being very, very disingenuous at best and flat out lying at worst.
Yeah, I mean, the president continues to say that Hunter was treated differently, but as you just commented, he himself pled guilty to all of this kind of stuff. And all the while you have the Justice Department, Merrick Garland, claiming that they followed the facts and all this sort of stuff. So who's telling the truth here? I mean, you have even the Justice Department under this administration saying something different from what the president is saying.
Well, I haven't been a big fan of Merrick Garland, but David Weiss, I haven't been a big fan of him either, but he actually prosecuted the cases. He went where the facts took him. And I was working with, and you sat on the Oversight Committee before you left Congress, and so you're familiar with this, but I sat there and the Oversight Committee, we looked at all kinds of documentation. And the fact that this went back to 2014, Jody, really says a lot because Joe Biden was the vice president. Joe Biden and the family were getting money from the Ukrainians. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden had been placed in charge of the State Department book on Ukraine at the time. And so somehow Hunter Biden was hired and given all this cash and money coming in when he had no experience and no information on Ukraine. And then you have the same thing going on with China. So it's, for me, I look at the time, the timing of it, or the period of time covered by this, and I say they knew that there was some very serious allegations that we had been uncovering, and there was a chance that you might actually get an attorney general who would actually do something. So when he says it was politicized, if it was politicized, it was to actually go easy on Hunter Biden, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he's acknowledging that the Justice Department has been weaponized, I mean, we've all seen that for quite a while. If I can, Congressman Biggs, switch gears on you a little bit. I wish we had a whole hour with you, but Congress is coming back. There are some major to-do items for Congress. Among them is the funding of the government before December 20th, the deadline there. What are you hoping is going to happen? What do you hope to avoid? What's your anticipation in all this?
I would, what I think is going to happen is a CR, a continuing resolution. It'll probably be a 2 or 3 month CR, which means that you keep all the spending at the same levels, you keep all the programs alive that are there now. And that includes things like funding to Planned Parenthood, funding to World Health Organization, participation in the CDC, all of those things that I'm totally against. I don't want to see that, but I think that's what's going to happen. I would be more content on December 20th going in and actually having a budget lapse in funding for a period of about 10 or 15 days. Why? Because virtually every employee will have received all of their checks for December, and we're going into a new administration. It'd be nice to start with a clean slate at that point. But I don't believe that my colleagues have that in them to do, and I think they're going to go to a CR.
And I guess I hear your point, and it's hard to argue. On the other hand, the CR being short term would likewise kind of give the president, would it not, give him the opportunity to kind of fresh start when he actually is inaugurated and takes office?
Yeah, except for it'll probably go for about 3 months, Jody. And that means that you're going to keep funding basically unlimited abortions for 3 months, all the DEI and woke programs around the country, participate in the international institutions that hate the United States, all this bad stuff going on. And you're going to be adding about $800 billion to your national debt over that same period.
Wow. Well, thank you, Congressman Andy Biggs, dear friend. Always great to have you on the show. Thanks for all you do. Hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. Appreciate you coming to Washington to watch with us again.
Absolutely. Best to Dee Dee, and hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much.